The All-Party Science and Technology Committee has been investigating how best to protect the marine environment around the UK. Its inquiry looked at the impact oceans have on the environmental change and if Britain's scientific community have the capacity to measure it. The committee was at first disappointed with the government's response, but says after further talks there's now room for optimism.
What we have done is to invite the Minister back, and indeed we got the Secretary of State, Hilary Benn, to actually come along from DEFRA to actually talk to us about the government's intentions. And I think, to be fair to the Secretary of State, what he'd done was to pick up not only the government's response but our report and to say, yes, this is a major issue. This is an issue that we need to put more time and effort into. And he's agreed, first of all, that there will be a comprehensive strategy. First time ever that's happened in the UK, so we're delighted with that. And secondly, the new organisation committee hasn't gone as far as an agency, but he's invited the select committee to say who should be on it, who are the key players, and that really is a very, very satisfactory compromise.
The committee says it's vitally important for the UK government to take a leading role in marine conservation as part of the global fight against climate change.
You see, I think what many people don't understand is that when we talk about climate change and we talk about the effect of CO2, we talk about it on the flat Earth. I mean, 70% of the Earth's surface is water. And so, by definition, much of this goes into carbon sinks within the seas. And what really we're concerned about, and in fact governments around the world are concerned about, is the effect that oceans are having on climate and climate change. And you only have to look at what happened, with the New Orleans disaster, to see it was the oceans that affected that, of actually picking up heat and energy as it came across the Caribbean and hit the across the Gulf of Mexico. And that is really what our background to our report is all about.
The MPs are now satisfied that the UK government is taking seriously the need to protect the seas and coastal regions of Britain.
I think the government has got the message very strongly that looking at what happens in our oceans, what happens in our coastal regions, the interrelationship between what we actually do on our seas in terms of transportation and fishing and leisure has a real impact on not only our own economy and our own way of life, but also on the larger sort of environment of the world. And I think that the government is very committed to actually making sure that it works with the United States, with Japan, with China, with Australasia, in terms of getting comprehensive policies about the oceans, because we know the oceans don't respect national boundaries, and in fact they pervade everywhere.
The committee says the UK should be a world leader in marine science, but there is a need for a comprehensive strategy to help protect the seas for future generations.